Hello and welcome to another episode of Blue Alpine TV. In today's episode, we will talk about more details about the cryptocurrency coming out of Venezuela, and we will talk about the Bank of America as well as JP Morgan banning purchases with credit cards when you buy cryptocurrencies and what kind of alternatives you have. But let's jump right into the market. The market seems quite healthy today. So we have seen some good jumps between 5 to 10% all over. Some coins even jumped 20-25%. So that looks really, really good. The question now was this the second dip that we've all waited for? Will it now go up? Have we survived the so-called bull market or not? We will see. As always, as we tell you people, invest into the fundamentals, not the price action. Let's jump right into the first news story. So there is some news out of Venezuela. As you know, they will launch their own cryptocurrency called the Petro. And there are some more details that has come out now. So out of the 100 million petros, Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro ordered about 38.4 million will go to institutional investors in a month-long pre-sale set to begin March 1st. So almost a month from now, the Petro coin will come out. It also says that actually it is an ERC-20 token, so it's based on Ethereum. Each Petro will be divisible into 100 million parts, with its smallest unit worth some PTR being called a mene. So it is interesting that they have used ERC-20 as their token, although it is kind of expectable, because if we look generally at the top 50 or top 100 coins, a lot of them are either based on Bitcoin or based on Ethereum. So it's not unusual to use Ethereum as a base to do a public sale and then base the token on the technology. What is also interesting is Venezuela will raise nearly $5 billion US, over 5% of Ethereum's market cap. So that's a lot of money that will be raised through the sale of these tokens. And it will be a lot of money with something that is not really proven to be working in this fashion. So it's the first time a government will actually give out some kind of token and use cryptocurrency in order to raise money to solve the problems. As you know, in Venezuela, there's some of the worst economic crisis going on. There's also some political instability. So adding cryptocurrency on top of this, we're not really sure how this will look, how this will work in the end. But what Venezuela does guarantee it is that they will accept Petro as payment for taxes and fees. And I've heard of other governments and states actually accepting taxes. Also, I think one canton in Switzerland here also does accept Bitcoin for taxes. So it's not the first country to accept cryptocurrencies to pay taxes. And it's more of a I would say, positive news, but obviously you will have to use the Petro and can't use any other cryptocurrency. Now here we can also see some of the distribution, or actually the distribution of the Petro. And as it says here, most of the funds, 55%, raised through the token sale, are set to go to a sovereign fund, while 15% will be used to develop technologies in other areas. An additional 15% will be used to develop the Petro's ecosystem, while the final 5% will fund the Petro's development. So it will be interesting to see how these funds are being used or will be used. I think depending on how successful the Petro token will be, I think the money will be spent in the right amount. But I'm still a bit unsure on how they are going to pull this off without any political problems, because as you know, I think not the government, but the parliament in Venezuela didn't really accept the issuance of this Petro token. So we'll see how this will develop. Now, another news story that will actually annoy a lot of people, especially from the US, is Bank of America, JP Morgan ban credit crypto purchases. So you are now, I think, starting February 3rd. Yes, exactly, February 3rd. And for Bank of America, it's February 2nd. So actually, yesterday and today, from yesterday on, you will not be able to buy any kind of cryptocurrency on any kind of exchange with your credit card. So buying cryptocurrencies on, for example, Coinbase using your credit card will not be possible anymore if you have a credit card from Bank of America or JP Morgan. Now, this is, well, the official reasoning behind this is that JP Morgan has concerns about the credit risk of those who make purchases through their cards. Now, this is, of course, a bit of a front because it is kind of in their interest that people actually make a lot of purchases with their credit cards, even if they can't afford it, because then they will have to pay the credit card fees, and the users will actually make the banks even richer. So I'm not really sure whether JP Morgan is telling us the full story here. Obviously, both JP Morgan and Bank of America came out a couple of times saying Bitcoin, generally cryptocurrencies, are not really to be trusted, and they don't believe that it will be the future. But so this is just another action trying to suppress, on one side, the price of cryptocurrencies, and on the other side, obviously, the big masses coming into cryptocurrency. Because let's face it, buying cryptocurrency on Coinbase is quite easy with your credit card. The fees are fairly high, but once you're used to it, and you can just do it quite quickly. Now, what kind of alternative do you have when you live in the US? So one alternative is using your debit card or ATM card. So these are still not banned, although there is a risk that those will also be banned with another reason. So you can still use your debit card for that, or you can use bank transfer. So I know a friend just told me that on Coinbase, it actually takes up to 7 working days. So it is slow, definitely. However, if it's your only chance, you have to plan accordingly. Maybe leave even some fiat currency on the exchange for when you really want to invest into a certain kind of cryptocurrency. Other than this, there is no, in Europe, for example, you could use SEPA bank transfer, and that takes around 1 to 2 business days, depending on the bank. Other than this, you could maybe use a prepaid credit card. I haven't tested this, but this could be another alternative to fund your crypto purchases. I think more banks will come out and actually block crypto purchases in that kind of way. Obviously, the reason is a bit weak, but they will try to, on one side, suppress the price of cryptocurrencies, and on the other side, limit the masses from going into cryptos, at least until the banks have issued some kind of their own token or some kind of their own blockchain. But this is still a bit further away. So depending on that, we will keep an eye on what the banks will do next. And with that, I want to close this short episode. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, put them into the comments below, and I'll see you tomorrow.